The thoughts can change your life with me, Reverend Lee. Today, continuing theme. Have you been programmed? Do you believe you've been programmed? You see, from the day we're born, we've been subconsciously programmed to be a part of the herd. We've been programmed to be a part of the family herd. We've been programmed to be part of the neighborhood herd. We've been programmed to be a part of a school herd. We've been programmed to be a part of a religious herd. We've been programmed to be a part of a state herd, a country herd. What other herds are there? Huge amounts. But the fact of the matter is, you weren't brought here to be a herd. You were brought here to be unique. You were brought here to express love. So the question I ask is, how would you talk? How would you walk if you knew you could be unique without fear of being judged? You see, that's how herd mentality is created, through judgment. If you don't do this, the herd won't accept you. Well, that's not a herd that's loving, is it? That's a herd that's in judgment. Well, that's not love. What do you think's happening in the world right now? Is it love or is it judgment? It's judgment. We shouldn't have to talk about inclusivity and diversity and that, because everyone is unique. We talk about white men, white women, black men, black women, gays, straights, trans. We talk about all these things, but yet we're all unique individuals. It's a subconscious programming that we're a part of a herd that stops us from living in love. When we live in love, we accept everyone's unique right to talk and speak the way they want, and to do so in a way that is harmonious, that lets society function. It's like create real, meaningful rules in society, like laws that are equally applied about money, laws about businesses, laws about how do we react socially, like don't kill anyone. Real simple laws. Laws that allow us to cohabitate together. Laws that allow us to be in love together. Yeah, I know this is not a simple topic. It's a very complex topic because it would be very difficult to unwind the current situation, because the current situation has been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The unconscious programming is in our DNA, and we're working all of our lives to be conscious, or some of us are working all of our lives to be conscious. Some people are just so wrapped up in the illusion that they don't even know there's a possibility that they can change, that they can be conscious, that they can be loving. So the question I say is, so how do we get out of this? One by one. One by one. The only thing I can do is to consciously reclaim my uniqueness and my power. I can teach this. I can speak this. But the greatest thing that I could do, or anyone can do, is to exemplify this. I know one of the things they talk about, whether you agree with the law or not, one of the things here is that in Texas, marijuana, let's say mushrooms, are illegal. So I may not disagree with using marijuana or mushrooms, but because I live in Texas and because I'm a minister, I obey the law. If I were in another state, or like Colorado, I could make a choice as to what I do. And that choice would be right. If I did do weed, if I did do mushrooms, that would be okay. It's not against the law. So I've made a conscious decision. I live in Texas. So as I live in Texas, I live by the laws. But at the same time, I understand that I have the power to help change those laws through how I vote. And so I vote accordingly to whatever I believe. I don't vote based on being a part of a party. I don't vote based on being a part of a demographic. I vote based on what I feel is best for the majority of people. That's what I vote on. How is this going to benefit the majority of people? And I'll get a little controversial. People say, why would I would vote to legalize marijuana? Why? Not that I would use it every day, but these people do not need to be in jail for having done marijuana. In my mind, marijuana is much safer and better for us than drinking alcohol. I've never seen a person smoking dope get violent. All they want to do is be peaceful, listen to music, and eat a lot of food. They got the munchies. I just reflect back into the 70s when I was in college. I understand what it was then. I know it's different now. But I can only change things. So I function within the system as unique as I am. And my uniqueness is a blessing. Carly says, laws or agreements. Yeah, I like that better, Carly. We create agreements on how we're going to live together. Here's an agreement that when you come to Agape, for the most part, we do our best to do this. We create an environment where there's no complaining. We create an environment where there's no complaining because why? Complaining is a surefire prayer that's going to attract to you what you're complaining about. The law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, you name it. Where you put your focus, you attract to you. And if you're focusing on complaining, you're going to get more of it. But we have been so, let's say, programmed, subconsciously programmed, that complaining is why we gather. And if someone doesn't listen to our complaining, oh my God, how dare they? They're not empathetic. When I'm counseling, I let people have a minute or two of sharing their story from the victim standpoint. Then I change it because I'm not going to go down that route. I'm not going to allow that creative process to continue. I'm certainly not going to allow that type of mental atmosphere into my atmosphere and contaminate my subconscious mind. No, I'm going to ask the person, what would you like in your life? How do you see your life as a greater expression of love? Talk to me about that. How could you act differently to have a different result in your life? Those are empowering questions. Those are questions that are for a greater expression of life, a greater expression of love. But we don't ask that because we've been subconsciously programmed into greed, into selfishness. And you see that all around. We think that our partner should be there to serve us. Our partner's not there to serve us. Our partner's there to support and grow us, and we're there to support and grow our partner while we share life's journey. And God forbid we have fun doing it. I love living life because life is fun. And yes, there's contrast. And yes, sometimes it doesn't feel good, but you got to have the contrast so you can feel good. With that, my beautiful friends, think about your life and how have you been programmed? And decide whether or not you want to keep the program or you want to change it. A program is a pattern of thought. Most of your patterns of thought are unconscious because you've been unconsciously programmed. You can consciously rewrite and change those programs to whatever you want. That's the work. That's the way of becoming more aware. That's the way of connecting with all of life. That's the way to be love. With that, my beautiful ones, make it a great day. Until next time, aloha.